Hi, my name is Nadhir Ashafiq. I'm one of the co-founders of TheLorry.com. We are a logistics platform where we connect customers, whether it be individual or corporates, to owners of lorries, vans and 4x4 within Southeast Asia. I was headhunted to a company that did air freight, so I was there for about 2 years. And while I was there, I was working on a startup. It was a social networking startup. Back then, we were very inspired by Instagram being bought out by Facebook for $1 billion. I just thought that if Instagram can do it, we could do it as well. So we also created our own social networking app. We launched it to the market, but obviously it didn't do very well. Right? But there were a lot of lessons that I learned from creating that social networking app. So one thing led to another. I left the job at the air freight company I mentioned, and here we are. I started TheLorry in September 2014 and never looked back since. We actually have a relationship with MaGIC ever since it was first launched. So we started our company in September 2014, and we realized that based on my mistakes from my previous startup, I did not want to run the company in a silo, which means I just do my own thing without networking, without getting guidance, without getting mentors. So I made sure that this was different, right, from my previous startup. I applied for a lot of accelerator programs. I applied to have a co-working space at MaGIC. So yes, our first ever office was actually in MaGIC, co-working space with a couple of other startups. And from there, we were part of the community. I think MaGIC helped us a lot in getting to understand a lot of the Silicon Valley lingo, startup lingo, right? And my first ever event was MaGIC Academy. Since then, since 2015, they definitely have added a lot of value in creating the accelerator programs, MEP, GAP, and I think in terms of the startup community, they definitely have a role to play. What does MaGIC stand for? I think it's a beacon. It's a beacon for startups in Malaysia. I think through MaGIC, we have seen international communities recognize Malaysia as a startup hub. Starting TheLorry was actually, I would say, by chance. We saw that logistics is very traditional, very inefficient, and we think that technology can solve a lot of the problems faced by the logistics industry. So one thing led to another, boom, TheLorry was created. We started in Malaysia in 2014, and then we expanded to Singapore in 2017, Thailand in early 2018, and Indonesia in June 2018. Although we might not want to admit it, some segments of society probably see lorry drivers as something a bit less inferior, right, compared to themselves. Not all, some segment of society. And this is not just Malaysians. This is actually a Southeast Asian thing. I've been to Philippines, I've been to Indonesia. They probably feel the same way. And this is something that TheLorry fights for. If you look at our content, if you look at our marketing materials, we always try to uplift the drivers. We want to remove that stigma. We want to remove that taboo. I know that every day I go to work, somebody's life is being changed, right? And I think that keeps me happy and keeps me going. So, since we started in 2014, we are close to over 150,000 rides, or trips, we call it trips, on our platform. We have over 5,000 drivers as well regionally. And I think those numbers will continue to go up as we expand to Thailand and Indonesia. I think I was a naughty child, definitely. I always get scolding with my late mom and also my dad. In terms of academic, in primary school, secondary school, I would say I'm okay, average. Maybe slightly above average, but not exceedingly bright. No teacher will say, hey, this guy, he's going to be a future entrepreneur of some sort. But I was free to explore a lot of the activities that I wanted to do. And one of the activities that really interested me back then was entrepreneurship. So a couple of things that I did. Number one, I played MaGIC, the Gathering, the card, as well as Pokemon. So I became a bit creative and started to create my own booster pack. So I got a lot of leftover cards. So I'll create my own booster packs and sell it at the local taman. The catalyst to my entrepreneurship interest was this game called Neopets. Through Neopets, right, I learned a lot about the concepts of commerce, trading, stock market. From there, my entrepreneurship spirit really blossomed. In secondary school, I created a band. We recorded some songs that spoke about the life at school, teachers, some inside jokes here and there, and then we sold it to the students. So that's another entrepreneurship activity that we did lah. Read a lot of books when I was in secondary school. One of the books that really sort of influenced me in, I would say, 2004, 2005, which is Form 4, Form 5, was Donald Trump. Donald Trump's book, Art of the Deal, right? Art of the Deal. So that book, although yes, now Donald Trump is not really someone highly looked up to at the moment. Currently at present, 2018, but in 2004, he was my role model. Thanks to his books, thanks to his apprentice shows, right? So after reading his book, I started reading a lot of books about entrepreneurs as well as fund managers like Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and others. And that got me interested in the world of accounting and finance. So got a degree in accounting, got a master's in finance, and my first job was in CIMB, investment bank. Right. So became an investment banker for about a year, and then I jumped to the world of logistics. I rather do things that will create impact, where I want to go to work every day in, day out, and say that, hey, I am creating some form of change in however small it is. At TheLorry, I am getting that almost every day. Every day we touch the customers, we touch our drivers. So I think that's my prime motivation. If I go to work and I know that I'm changing someone's life, then that will be a work that is worth it, right? If it's just 9 to 5, very boring admin stuff, I don't think I'll be able to last. If I give the impression that it's always on up and up, believe me, it's not. So being an entrepreneur, we have to be wary of the fact that this life is not like a normal salaried life. It's a roller coaster. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Not just your finances or not just the performance of your company, but emotionally as well. So some of my lowest moments, in life would be, I would say definitely number one, pre-TheLorry. My failed social networking startup. That was one of the lowest moments of my life. I felt like a failure. I was already married back then, so I felt even more of a failure because I couldn't, I would say, provide to the family. But I scraped through, and one of the things that I started after the social networking startup was TheLorry. So things was better back then. While doing TheLorry as well, we definitely have a lot of low moments. We had moments where it felt that we failed so miserably in terms of delivering items to customers. That complaints kept coming in. That we were failing, we were not delivering items on time, and I think those were really low for me. There were also moments where we felt that we couldn't get funding. Those were also low moments for myself. This literally happened. We actually got very strong interest from a particular investor. Strong interest. Everything went well. We submitted all the documents, we submitted all our projections, we pitched multiple times, but then in the end, they just decided not to proceed. And we were banking on this particular investor quite a bit, and we just felt that we felt that everything was going to come crashing down, and I literally broke down and cried, and didn't speak to anyone for like 3 hours. And sometimes you might feel that you're on your own, and everything is just crashing around you. But if you have a good support system, you'll be okay. And I think if you don't persevere during the down moments, if you give up too easily, then you might not see the end of the tunnel. At the end of the day, what we stand for is, we want to deliver the best possible experience to our customers. So we're not happy with just being a regional company. We want to be the best regional company. So one of our goals by 2022 is to be the biggest and the largest logistics platform in Southeast Asia.